Hey guys, how's it going? So today I have for you a new deck profile, and today we're going to be covering Evil Eye, so let's get into it. So for the extra deck, or main deck, sorry, we're going to be playing 3 of our main starter, which is Surreal. Watcher of the Evil Eye, he is the best card because on normal summon it adds your Evil Eye card from deck to your hand, which is usually going to be your Evil Eye of Selene if you don't have it, or whatever cards you don't need at the current time. It has a pretty okay effect where if it's equipped with Selene, which is where you can target special summon monster your opponent controls and destroy it. And you can only use it once per turn. And with that effect, once per turn during next size standby phase after its effect was activated, destroy one card you control. So it does have its backfire, but it's not the worst. And for those of you who know, with Evil Eye, your opponents just you activate the effects of the Evil Eye monsters, then Selene will chain, giving them more attack, protect them from card effects and destruction, the monsters, and then they just keep building up attacks, but every 500 attack you gain, you lose 500, so. Then two, with the other level 4 Medusa, Watcher of the Evil Eye. This is like normal summon cycles from grave to hand. And if it's equipped with Selene, its effect is you can target a monster in your opponent's graveyard, banish it, so DDD Crow. And once per turn, and during the next standby phase after this effect is activated, you banish a card in your graveyard. Basically, a common theme here is eye for an eye. Next, for the level 3s, you have 2 Borealis. Familiarity Evil Eye. This card's better than the other one, which is the one of Capitolis. This card's fun because it just special summons itself if you control an Evil Eye monster, so basically boots. Once per turn special summon, and during the main phase you can send an Evil Eye Spiral Trap from your deck to your graveyard, which comes up a bit. Capitolis, and these can't be equipped with Selene or don't have extra effects with it. This is, you can target Evil Eye Spiral Trap you control until the end of the next turn. It cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, which is cool. Sometimes forget about it, but it's a good effect. And if you control an Evil Eye monster other than Capitolis, Familiarity Eye, while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. I like these 2 cards because they're both level 3 and they both special summon themselves as long as you control another Evil Eye, so they're really easy to go into rank 3 plays. And I'll show you in the extra deck I'm starting to do something, but haven't really fully developed it yet. For the 2 hand traps, for the monsters, are going to be your 2 Ghost Sister and Spooky Dog World. This is basically like Max C, except for life points. So basically, during either player turn, except the end phase, quick effect can discard this card, applies effect this turn. You can only use each effect of Ghost Sister and Spooky Dog World once per turn. Each time your opponent special summons an effect monster during the main phase or battle phase, you gain life point equal to that monster's attack. If you do not gain life points by this effect, your life points is half during the end phase. Now this card is good because either they're going to go full combo and give you a bunch of life points, or they're going to stop their combo and you're going to have your life points. So either way it's good, and especially since, like I said earlier, you're always getting rid of your attack to gain attack, or life points to gain attack, kind of like a siphon effect. It's really good for that reason. And then also for the other hand trap, just because we need negates, 3 Infinite Impermanence, best card besides Ash Blossom. If I didn't know what to cut, otherwise I would try and fit in 2 Ash copies in here, but other than that I wouldn't really change the deck list too much, unless you want to run the Unchained variant with this, which can do a pretty cool stun lock, I think. I don't know, I just like this deck pure. It's kind of fun casual deck for me, and those are always nice to play every once in a while. Next we have 1 Confrontation for spells. So this targets a spell or trap your opponent controls, destroy it if you control an Evil Eye monster. And if you do, and Evil Eye Selene is in your spell and trap zone, you can banish the card instead. Once per turn effect, which is why it's a 1 card. Not bad though, it's kind of like Mystic Space Typhoon. 1 Re-emergence. So this special summons your Familiar of Evil Eye token. Or if Selene's in your spell and trap zone, you can special summon 2. And for the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon. After this card's resolution, you cannot special summon monsters except fiends. Banish this card from the graveyard. Your opponent cannot target Evil Eye spells or traps to control card effects this turn. Now, so if you want to, you could probably run this with more like a Burning Abyss engine, like Phantom Knights a bit. I think with Tour Guide and stuff, which could be pretty cool. but this is a pure version. If you guys want to see the Phantom Knight or like the Burning Abyss version of this or like the Unchained, let me know and I'll build the decks because I do really like Evil Eye. One repose, that's the last one of for your Evil Eye. So this card is you banish Evil Eye card from a graveyard, draw a card on activation. Once per turn during damage calculation, if your Evil Eye monster equipped with Selene attacked an opponent's monster, you can banish that opponent's monster, which is pretty cool. So basically all the spells just help your monsters have effects is kind of the theme of the deck. 2. And you can banish. Okay. If this card in Spell and Trap Zone is destroyed by a card effect, you can target 3 of your banished Evil Eye cards, shuffle them into the graveyard, or put them into graveyard. It's pretty cool. It gives your opponent a reason not to banish it or destroy it, which is pretty cool. Next we have 2 Coronago and 2 Evil Eye of Selene. Selene's the better of the cards because it's the one where... Okay, so with Coronago, Corgioneo, I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Coronago. So you can only equip it. Build for these only equipable to the Evil Eye monster. So this card you can only activate this once per turn. So this card names becomes Evil Eye Selene while in Spell Trap Zone, which is kind of why you don't need to only run one of it. So it's basically the same thing. However, while your life points are lower than your opponent's, the equipped monster gains attack equal to the difference. So this is more prevalent than this. However, if you combine both, it's kind of insane. Which is why the main reason why this is here is you can banish this card from your graveyard and discard an Evil Eye card, add 1 Evil Eye spell or trap from your deck to your hand, except himself. And that's why your copy of this card's so good, because Barlas, familiar with Evil Eye, on special summon he just sends this to graveyard, and if you have another card to discard, you can add your Selene to hand and get some other cards off your normal summon. And that's once per turn effect. So Selene your monster cannot be controlled by battle or by your opponent's card effects. Also, your opponent cannot target it with card effects. Really insane. That's why I said if you combo both of these. You can play this at 3 and 1, but I just feel 2 and 2 is good enough since you can add this back. Each time you activate the equipped monster's effect or another Evil Eye spell or trap card, equipped monster gains 500, and if it does, you lose 500. This remains even if this card leaves the field. Keep in mind this is mandatory, so until you can't. Mandatory until you can't. So if you can't pay the 500, it won't work. But if you can, you have to. So just keep that in mind. The equipped monster gains 500 attack. Okay. And if this card is in your graveyard, you can pay 1,000 life points and then banish 1 Evil Eye spell or trap from your graveyard, except itself, and set this card, which is really cool. Because both of these get you into Selene reproduction. You can activate the turn you set it to. So next for our 3 ofs, we have your 3 Awakening. I spoiled the next card. Don't worry. I'm going to move these up. Your 3 Awakening. Awakening is a good card because it's your monster reborn. Because you can special summon the Evil Eye monster from your hand or graveyard, or if Selene is in your Spell and Trap Zone, from the deck instead. Once per turn effect, but really good to get a monster reborn or a special summon from the deck. So, usually Selene won't be on the field when you want a special summon, because, well, I guess. Next you have 3 Domain. And we'll go ahead and throw out the 1 Terraforming as well. The best card about this is it basically gets you 7 of your Surzeal Watcher. Because this card, when this is activated, adds your Evil Eye monster from your deck to your hand. This obviously searches it. So once per turn, its other effect is during damage calculation, if your Evil Eye monster is attacked while Selene is in your Spell and Trap Zone, you can make the battle damage you take from the battle also be inflicted to your opponent. Which is another reason why your other level 3 is good, because he can protect this, so you can still do the damage to your opponent. Of course, if it doesn't kill you. It's kind of fun. It's like Dynatak, so I remember like killing myself with Dynatak and my opponent at the same time. It was a really fun game in that sense. So if this card in your field, and if this card is destroyed by card effect, you can target 1 Evil Eye monster in your graveyard, add to your hand. Once again, another reason for your opponent not want to destroy it. So it's a really cool card, and also I got my secret rare, so I'm really happy about that. Anyways, that's it for those. Next we have our draw cards, which actually I'll move these out of the way real quick. Sorry about the mess and time. Yeah, so here we go. We got draw cards, 1 Upstart, 2 Pot of Extravagance, and 3 Allure. So this is where you can kind of switch it. Usually especially if you're playing more of like a Burning Abyss deck, you might want to drop the Extravagance. I like playing at least 5 draw cards, especially for a pure version. Um, but I play 6 in here just because Upstart Goblin's so good. So you could technically run into 2 if you want more hand trap space, or just completely like only run to Extravagance. Up to you, but I like playing it that way. For the traps, Evil Eye traps, on Mesmerism, Mesmerism just is Floodgate or like Trap Hole for the special summon monsters. Yeah, so you target one of those monsters in attack position with attack less than an Evil Eye you control, take control, so kind of like a Crackdown. Crackdown's really fun in this deck too if you like. One defeat, so if you control Evil Eye, monster target card, one monster on field or 2 if Selene's in your spell and trap zone, turn them to the hand. Compulsory evacuation device, and your 2 retribution. So Solemn Strike or Judgment, because when a Spiral Trap is activated while you control an Evil Eye monster, negate the activation if you do destroy it. And if Selene is in your spell and trap zone, this card's activation cannot be negated, which is really cool. That's why this card's so cool. But yeah, so that's it for the main deck. Let's get into the extra deck, and I'll explain to you what I'm trying to do, because it's not fully compelled yet, just to me not having the cards and not really knowing if it's good or not. So for Link 1's one Anima, play this at 2 if you can. I only have 1 of it, so I played 3 Link Haribo as well. What I would do if you can is play 2 and 2, mainly because it's cool. Link, he can't always be summoned because it's better to summon Link Haribo if you can't take control of one of your opponent's monsters, but if you can, he's better, obviously. Next for your Evil Eye, 3 Gorno, and the 1 Zerazeal, Ruler of the Evil Died. This card's the best, obviously, but you have to usually summon after you get your Gorgon Empress, just because he can... The main effect is, if this card was Link summoned using a monster with 26 or 100 higher attack as material, it can make a second attack during each battle phase, which is pretty cool. So we'll go over his effects real quick. So it gains 100 attack for each Evil Eye card with different names in your graveyard. So he's pretty easy if you activate one effect with him equipped to Evil Eye to get into your Zerazeal. Or if you just have 7 Evil Eye cards, which isn't the hardest thing to do in the pure version. So his quick effect is, while his Eclipse of Selene, is you can target the effect monster your opponent controls, negate the effects until the end of the turn. Once per turn, obviously. And during the next standby phase after its effect was activated, destroy a monster this card points to. Points up. Pretty cool, but it also points down. So actually, this card's the best because if there's no monsters here, you don't have to destroy a card, obviously, because you can't. But if there's a monster here, you have to destroy it. So it can either destroy your monsters or yours, but usually you'll just not be stupid, unlike me, and summon here, so you don't have to worry about it. But it does destroy your opponent, so it gives them less play, basically. Cool. So if this card is equipped with Evil Eye Selene for this one, the entire card your opponent controls destroy it. Once per turn effect, obviously. And during the next standby phase after its effect activation was activated, negate the effect of one effect monster this card currently points to. That's not really that bad of effect, even if it does negate your monsters that are here, but once again, you always have 2 other slots to summon, so you just want to hope he has a monster here, which is why you summon here, since it's during the next standby phase. Yeah, so cool about Gorgon is if your opponent controls a monster, you can summon him here. Same with him if you need to negate the effects for that turn, because the next standby phase would be your opponent's standby phase, so like if you don't destroy that monster, it gets rid by next standby phase, you can do that. Pretty cool. Next, for the generic Link 2s, we got Barricade Board Blocker. Really slow, don't recommend playing it, but it came in handy a lot, so I kind of still stick with it. Next, we have your 3 Knightmares. Wow, Nightmares. I don't know why I always say Knightmare. Oh, it is K-Nightmare. I just call him Knightmare. 1 Enchained Abomination. Pretty cool. Link 4 just destroys everything since you destroy a lot of cards. And now my other idea for the deck was, but like it kind of ruins the Link space, was your Livier, the Sea Dragon. Mainly because with Pot of Extravagance, you banish the card so he can still summon it. So for example, you can summon like a Galaga off his effect. So if you have like 3 of him and 2 of him, if you banish like 2 of him and both of these copies in your Pot of Extravagance, you're not really losing anything, because you can just summon him with your Barrelus, and Capitolus, which summon themselves basically for free in that regard. To summon him, discard, and then summon Gallica, and then kind of screw your opponent over as well as yourself, but still. Kind of insane, and I think it might work in a pure build. It's just that I don't have the cards to do it, and I'm having a hard time figuring out what to cut for it. But I just wanted to mention it for you guys, and I didn't know what else to run either, so it's kind of worked both ways. But yeah, that's it for the Evil Eye deck profile. I'll get back to you when I get more of a fully developed, maybe kind of pure version. It's a lot more competitive than this, which might be more hand traps and stuff. But this is kind of more of the casual, just want to have fun build. This is a lot cheaper, obviously, because Evil Eye's cheap, especially since he's in Ultra now. So, like, all these cards are super cheap, except maybe the Ghost Sister might be one of the more expensive. And Permanence got reprinted, and same with the Extravagance. Lore as well, so really actually a pretty cheap deck if you don't go max rarity. But yeah, so let me know if you guys want to see more of a pure or more a more competitive pure version. If you want me to try and run it with the Levier thing I was talking about, Burning Abyss, or the other, like the Unchained kind of block one that I was talking about. So yeah, let me know if you want to see any of those, and have a great day. Bye.